I go to Cuba, I have a great time. I go to the beach, I'm in my bathing suit, and I take a picture, and that picture changed everything. Being so proud of it, right? It's like, look at my body. Like, I remember showing some of my family, showing some of my friends, and they're like, no, do not put that on social media. I literally was like, this is wrong. Like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like, I asked my mentor, I remember asking her, I was like, we weren't even talking about church. We don't even, we never had talked about Christian versus anything else, because she never like pushed me to do anything like that at all. But I remember I asked her, do you see me being, you know, in this church? Like, do you see me ever like leaving? And she's like, well, I don't know, that's really up to you. I actually don't know that. It's really up to you. And she's like, well, if you're having some questions, I can like give you some references, you know, just for you to look at. Like, you may not resonate with you, but if you are feeling like you have some questions or some doubts, maybe you should like be kind to yourself and figure it out. She introduced me to this man, Michael Beckwith. He has a church here in LA. He was on Oprah. And I remember going to his website, going to the church's website. He has a church. It's New Age Ancient Wisdom. And I remember like them using words like creator and universe and saying, oh, like, we don't believe there is no hell. And I was like, psh, what? Like, this is blasphemy, okay? And I closed the laptop so fast, and I just sat there like this. I remember I was on my couch. I sat there, and then Spirit said, open the laptop. Like, my spirit was like, you gotta open this laptop. You gotta look at this. So I opened it, and I remember looking at everything, you know, and like over the, like, for like 2 weeks after that, I just looked at videos, I looked at conversations, I looked at like his messages, and these messages were talking about things like, you weren't born into sin, you were born this magnificent being who is God. Like, you are God. And that was like, what do you mean I'm God? Hold up. No, there is God who is bigger than life, bigger than what we imagine. Isn't a he or she, but it's a being. It's everything. It's the birds, the trees, the earth, the ground, me and you. And I, like, when they said those things, you know, when he would say those things, and like other speakers, I'd be like, huh, okay. Like, and so I remember just like letting that settle in. And one day I was looking at a message, and I remember he said like something like, you know, everyone has the love of the creator. Everyone does. You are wonderful. And all he said with all these positive things. Like, it wasn't like, you're awful, you have to follow commandments, you know, you're far from God. No, it was God lives in you because you are God. It was you're not dirty, you're not a dirty human. Like, it's just nothing but positivity. And I remember like looking forward to going there and like looking at these beautiful messages about God being love and light and nothing else, no strings attached, and God being this accepting being. I was like, wow. And I remember just crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what you are, God. Oh my gosh. And it was just it was so eye-opening, and it was more than, it was like nirvana. It was nirvana. Like, could you imagine? You know what it's like? It's like being in a relationship for many years, and like a controlling relationship. You're in a controlling relationship, you know, but your significant other says, I love you so much that I don't want you to do this, that, or that. Even though it's not something that hurt you, but really it's something that they're using to control you. That's all it is. Like, it's a control factor. And then one day you wake up and you're like, I cannot be in this anymore. Like, I haven't felt right about it. I've been in it, but I wasn't really in it. I wasn't really connecting. So, and then you're out of the relationship and you discover everything that your significant other didn't want you to see was like awesome, happy, great stuff. Like, not even anything that would hurt you. Like, just like for me, it was crystals, like healing crystals, tarot, like learning how to read tarot and like getting tarot readings, and just like using spirituality, like the word spirituality, using the words creator and universe, you know, to describe a bigger than life God. Astrology, like the moon, the power of the moon, the power of the sun that God gave us, that creator gave us. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was like, and it's still like that way, right? Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm out of this controlling relationship, and you were controlling me because you didn't want me to see all this stuff, this amazing stuff. Like, that's what it was that's helping me, you know? So it was just, it was a fast transition, but not really, because I still had a lot of fear about it, you know? The thing about Christianity for me and for a lot of people is that it just feels so controlling, and then when you're out, it's like, wow, I feel so happy and free. And the first thing I do remember being like, oh, well, this is just evil. Like, this is evil stuff. But I couldn't connect with it being evil. I couldn't connect with the power of God and all this beautiful life energy being, and like, how is that evil? How is something that's helping me to heal evil, you know? And then like finding out that there is no devil like controlling me, that I create my own experiences, that I can use the power of my tongue and my mind to create my own experience. Like, that is just beautiful and mind-blowing. And the thing is that you have to find your truth. And my truth is that Christianity did not serve me. It didn't serve me. It held me back. It put God in a box. It put God in a box. It put God as a man in the sky. It's so interesting too how God is a man and not a woman. You know, like that's kind of like, for me, it's like, oh, wait, well, could a man have written the Bible and then put God as a man, like made God a man so he'd have power over a woman? Because women can't do so many things, right? But anyway, so God as a man in the sky who is telling you that you're born a sinner, when it's God, why would God create beings that aren't good, like that are dirty and disgusting? And you can't experience yourself for who you are, even though you have free will. So God gave us free will, but he gave us free will to control us and for us to yeah, you can have free will, but if you do something bad, then, you know, you're going to hell. The God that I love and have learned about is, its love is not conditional. God gave me free will with no conditions. No conditions at all. Like, and it's so funny because as like parents, you wouldn't want your children to, you wouldn't want to cast your child out because they do something that you didn't like, or, you know, what you consider wrong, or whatever. But we expect, but that's how God, how, you know, Christians, for me, that's how we view God, as someone who is conditional. That's conditional love. Like, you have to serve me, you have to worship me in order for me to give you what you want. No, it's not. I had to take God out of that box. Instead, it was, I love you no matter what. There is nothing that you could do that would make me not love you. And I want you to experience life for yourself. I want you to find out who you really are, to step into your Christ consciousness, because we all are Christ. Jesus the Christ isn't the only Christ. But find out like who you really are. Like, remember who you are. And who you are has so much power because I gave you power. You're not, like, you are not away from me. I love that about God, is that like God lives inside of me and like I am God. Like it didn't like limit me by being far away from me, you know? So I can literally go within and tap into the God in me, the divine in me. So I had to learn how to take God out of the box, and therefore take myself out of the box. So how God is like everywhere compared to when I was in Christianity, I only thought that it was like this little, it was a he and this little bitty thing, and now it's huge and I'm actually feeling more holy because I am more holy compared to, you know, when I followed these strict rules when I was a Christian and I felt dirty and disgusting. And it's not even about like, oh, like I can go do what I want to do. Like, yeah, I can literally go and do what I want to do, because God doesn't even recognize right and wrong. God recognizes what serves you and what doesn't serve you. And really all God wants us to do is to love. Love is all there is. There is not, like, fear does not serve you. And Christianity was fear-based for me. It was fear-based. Like, I was scared. Like, I was taught that God is a jealous God and a God to be feared, but that's not even true. I don't want my children to be scared of me. I don't want that. God doesn't want that. I can't even believe that it happened. To be honest with you, I still like wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm free. Like it's literally like being in that relationship that you have to heal out of. I don't regret growing up a Christian. I don't regret that journey, because for me, that's the dark. That's darkness. And now I have this light. But how could I know what light is without the darkness? Like, I needed to experience that. And there are some people who that's who they're gonna be their entire life, Christians, and that's okay. Like, I'm literally not here to judge Christians. Like I said before, I'm here to help those who may feel like Christianity is not for them, and just let you know it's not scary. Like, there's no demons out here for you. Like, you are saved. Like, there's nothing for you to be saved from, because there is no hell. Like, God is all there is. I'm going to show people what God out of the box is, what Brandy out of the box is. yeah, that's it. Until next time. Bye.